Alright, in this video, we're going to show you how to build this pretty nifty little F15 fighter jet you can build it out of paper or cardstock. I was very surprised at how well this thing actually flies. We'll show you that here in a bit. But I'll also link where you can find this pattern and download for free. It's a free PDF. Pretty simple to make. 4 parts. We're going to cut all 4 parts out. You will need a glue stick. You will need a pair of scissors. And you're going to need a ruler and possibly a cutting board, depending on how you want to do a few different things. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to jump right in. We're just going to cut these 4 pieces out. All right, so we've got all the pieces cut out. Just to make sure you didn't miss anything, notice this piece is cut here. This piece needs to be cut out. These slits on the back need to be cut out. Likewise, the slits on this, both of those need cut. The nose has this part here cut out, and obviously that piece there. This weird guy here is supposed to look like this. All right. There are a few other places that we're going to have to use a razor blade. It's possible to do a scissors. It's just awkward. For my students in my class, I'm going to do this part for you. So bring this up. We'll put the slits in. You can see where the tab, so the tab from this piece pokes through and then is glued down. All right. So there's 4 slits, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this piece I need to cut. There's 2 here, 1, 2. There's 2 on this guy, 1, 2. They're kind of in a weird spot. Also this, you should have done that with the scissors, right? Okay, so we also need to fold all of these dotted lines. If you see a dotted line, it means fold. It's possible to just fold it. It's very hard to do it right on the line. So I'm going to show you a little trick for scoring. A score is a cut that doesn't go all the way through. Okay, once we score a piece of paper or cardboard like this, it bends exactly where you scored it. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to open them like this. I'm going to hold onto the handle. Please do not hold on to the blade. Be aware that there's another blade here. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to line it up with any of the dotted lines. And I'm just going to very carefully, making sure my thumb isn't sticking out, I'm going to drag a line across there. I'm not pushing hard. I'm not trying to cut through. But when I score it, you'll notice it wants to bend exactly on that line. So we're going to score all 4 tabs, this other line. This guy, this piece right here, we don't have to score anything. We need to score the 2 lines on this. And then there's a bunch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines on that. So I'm going to score these and we'll come back and show you how to start assembling stuff. Now we've got everything scored. I've put the slits in, 2 there, 4 here, 2 here. We're going to start assembly. I'm going to start with this. This is a weight. The only purpose of this is to add some extra weight to the nose for balance purposes. So I'm going to start with this long piece over here and I'm going to accordion fold it underneath. So it's going to go under like that. And then this gets folded over. You can see that white spot. We're going to glue that tab down right there with all of those papers in the middle. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue stick on here. that goes again in the middle. Wrap it around. And it is kind of tricky to get it all lined up just the way you want it. And one trick I've used to get that pushed down is if you take your scissors carefully, we're going to push that in there. And now I can use that as kind of a backstop. So I can push down on the tab and get it stuck down. Again, you want to be very careful using the scissors like that. They are sharp. When you're done, this piece, you can see it's angled. We've got all the middle papers in there. It's coming apart just a little bit. Might have to wait just a little longer for that glue to dry. And then this piece is going to get glued inside the nose. It's going to fit right up front there. So we've got this scored. We're going to fold these, fold those tabs as well while we're at it. And then this piece is going to go right inside here. Just like that. We're going to glue that down. Try and line all those curved pieces up with the front there. So I'm going to put glue on the bottom of this. I'm also going to add a little bit of glue on each side here, and we're going to stick that in. So some glue, glue, and then glue on the bottom. Okay, we're going to line that up, push that in where we want it to go, pinch that together, and I'm going to push that glue down really, really good. Just like that. You want to check it, make sure it's square. We don't want it twisted. So it looks pretty good. All right. So there's our nose piece with the weight installed. If you want, you can put a little glue on the inside of the cockpit here and stick that together, just to give it a little bit of extra strength. I'm going to go ahead and do that. It seemed to work really well on the last one. So again, I'm just kind of squeezing that together and giving it a chance to dry. Once this is finished, we're going to attach this to the bottom piece here, and we're going to do that by sticking these two tabs through those two slots and gluing them down. So I'm going to start with the glue. I'm going to put glue on those two spots right there. And I'm going to push those tabs through. So usually works a little better if you give it a little more time between parts to let the glue dry. So there's one, and I'm going to glue that one down first. It's going to make the second one easier, but I'm just going to fold that over, pinch it together real good and tight. We're going to try and stuff this one through. And got glue on my fingers, so it's slippery. It started, so if I come through to the other side and pull it through, we can fold this one over and just push it down. Looks like my glue popped off on this one too, so I'm going to hold that together and just kind of let it dry. All right, so now this part is tricky. We're going to place this on top. We're going to have to slide it in and then push the tabs through the slots and glue them down. We're going to use our scissors again to reach inside to put a little backer so we can push hard on it. We don't need any glue back here. I am going to put glue in these 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got these folded up. We've got our tabs ready to fold over. So now we're going to take this, just start with one side, plug that in there. Like that. Come over to this side, same thing. And we're kind of just working things to where they need to go. We're not putting them all the way in the final spot quite yet. There, okay, sliding this back a little further. Like that, there. Okay, so I'm not too worried that these aren't straight for now. What we need to do next is start poking tabs through, and like I said, this part is very tricky. So I'm going to poke this guy through there and pull it, pull it through. If I can get it. So I'm pushing underneath, kind of pinching it together so I can pull this up through like that. And then I'm going to take my scissor, put it in there, and glue that one down. I'm going to do the same thing with this other side over here. This to line up. Okay, got that one through. I'm gonna put my scissors in here and push down. Okay, before I go too much further, before I do these other 2 ones, we might have to add a little more glue to these in a second, but we got to get this stuff lined up as well, and this is tricky. So we're gonna kind of roll this in. We got to slide it into these slits, and these little black pieces, they got to poke into there. So it's tricky, just take your time. Don't worry about bending the airplane too much. It's going to have to bend a little bit, like that. So start with the slits on the back here. We've got to try and get that back far enough where, there. Okay, so those popped over. Now I can try and plug that slit in, that tab in there, just like that. We're almost there. We just have 2 more tabs, and these ones are super tricky. So you can see they're close. I'm going to use my scissor and try and pull that out just a little bit. Too much. See if I can get it poked through. Try and just wiggle things. Does not want to go, oh, it's close. There. Oh, almost fell out. Okay, so I'm going to pull that through. And it feels like my glue is pretty dry, so I'm just going to add a little more glue there. Pinch that down. And then we're going to glue that. We're going to do the other side and we'll be almost done. And now for the other side, same process. We just got to get that last tab tucked in there. And so if you can see how I've got it kind of angled, it wants to pop out. If I can get my scissors back in there and push it back out. Oh, right there. I'm going to widen my hole just a little bit with the scissors. Let's see if that's going to make it just a little easier to get that to pop through. There we go. That's all it took. Okay, and again, took too long getting that in there, so I'm going to add just a little more glue. And we're going to pinch that down. Put my scissors back in there underneath so I can apply some pressure to it. And the hard parts are done. Oh, that fell up, that fell off. So a little more glue back here too, it looks like. Now we just got to get it ready to fly. So we want our tail obviously to look a little more straight. So we're going to kind of play with that. Get the tail squared away. Front looks good. Maybe pinch those together a little bit, but I think we're good. So something I think is really cool about this design, if you look at it from the side, you can see the curve of the body here, of the fuselage, and how it bends the wing down to give it the airfoil shape. Let's go give it a try and see how it flies. Got the airplane finished. Just a couple of tips for getting it to fly right. So probably not going to fly great the first time you throw it, but just observe if you see it spinning. If it's going up, going down, spinning the other way, we can adjust that, okay? Just like a normal airplane has elevators, rudder, ailerons, we can just bend the paper to make it do what we want to do. So if the airplane is diving on the back here, we're going to just bend the elevators up just a little bit. Opposite, if it's going up and then stalling, bend the elevators down. If it's twisting, yaw, that's controlled by the rudders. If it's rolling, check the elevators first. You can actually use these as ailerons a little bit, but if that's not helping, just use the wingtips. Bend them down the way you want them to, and let's give it a whirl.